Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are. I am Shanta Javon Taylor, neuroscientist and success strategist, founder of the Optimind Institute. You're having coffee with a neuroscientist. So grab your coffee or tea or water. Today we are going to talk about the brain science of vision boards. Okay? The brain science behind vision boards. So, in the comments, how many of you actually create vision boards every year? You could share in the comments. I can't always see everybody's faces because you have to give permission to StreamYard so I can see your name and face. I see Philip. Great day to you, whoever said that. So, brain science of vision board. You're having coffee with a neuroscientist. Now you have not heard it like this before, right? I know it's a thing and everybody's excited. You kind of get to go back to your childhood and cut out stuff, cut out of a magazine and paste it. But this time we're doing it as adults, right? We're adulting. And deep down inside, we know that visions are powerful, right? It's a spiritual practice, right? If we don't have a vision, we perish, right? That's in the Bible for you who read the Bible. And so we know vision is very important for us to thrive, for us to succeed. But just like a lot of these human activities that we just kind of do, but we don't know the deeper why, and then we kind of give up on these things because we don't know the deeper why, we don't know the deeper meaning, so we don't keep up with it. That's what I do. That's where Shantae the neuroscientist comes in. I'm able to connect our everyday human activities to something powerful, to your powerful brain, to your powerful technology, and allow you to understand the deeper meaning, the deeper why, the deeper pathways that can be amplified if you continue to do some of these human activities, but do them more powerfully, more intentionally. So, some of you may create vision boards or vision maps, whatever you want to call it, posters, but then things don't happen for you. And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to share it with you today. Okay. Can I do that for you? All right. I promise you, you have not heard it like this before. Okay. Because the way my brain creates things, it's out of insight. And insights, for those who follow me, insights come in a moment where ideas have not been formed before, the combination of ideas. And that doesn't mean someone can have a similar insight, but for your brain, when you have an insight, an aha moment, it's because there are that old information and wisdom that comes together with new information in a different combination. And so an insight is very powerful. So I'm going to share my insights with you today. All right, let's get it going. So, why is vision so important? Our brains are dedicated to mostly visual processing and understanding. Okay, so visualization is instinctive for us. We were seeing things before we were saying things. Let that sink in. We were seeing things before we were saying things, before we were writing things, before symbols came into the picture. Okay? So the visual system has been around longer in order to be able to figure out the world, survive, and thrive. Okay? So obviously, vision is very important. And so if the brain is dedicated to 30% of our cortex, okay? 30% of the cortex neurons is dedicated to the visual system and visual processing. That can also translate into 60 to 70% of what the brain is doing is visual processing. Okay. And to put it in context, touch, the sense of touch, is only about 9% of the cortex. And auditory is about 3 or 4% of the cortex, our brain. Okay. So there's a big difference in there. And MIT did a study, and there's quite a few studies on visual processing versus verbal processing. Hey, share this out too, y'all. Um, but MIT recently did a study about how quickly we can process an image. Okay. And they were able to determine it takes 13 milliseconds to process an image when we see something, when we're taking in visual, what I call data input. Okay. To make the comparison, it takes us a half a second to process one word. So a half a second versus 0.013 milliseconds, a thousandth of a second. That's like we process images 97% faster than words. Let that sink in. Why is that important for a vision board? I'll share in just a moment. I just need you to have that foundation right now. All right, so we process images about 97% faster than verbal. Okay, not to say verbalization and writing is not important. Okay, but I'm giving you the brain science behind the vision, your future. Okay, what you want to happen. All right, so when you're thinking of seeing something, we're not really taking in everything consciously. Like 90%, 90 to 95% of the stimuli coming into our visual system is going in unconsciously. Okay, because it takes a lot mentally to process something consciously. So where do you think I'm going with this? Okay, we'll get to that. So, how many of you knew that? I mean, intuitively, you would think, right, that we process visuals better. And it also helps, it enhances our memory. So when there's studies done between listening to something or taking notes, when there are images, it gets encoded faster and better and long term. Okay. So that's one of the things people tend to tell people who are presenters, right? Make sure you have powerful images, not as much text. If you really want people to learn from you, right? And something else that's powerful about the visual system is that it's not isolated to things that you can physically see. So we know in neuroscience that if you imagine something visual, you are still activating your visual cortex, your occipital lobe, okay, your visual system. Your brain will create the images just like as if you're seeing something. So it is still accessing and putting together ideas and images and thoughts that you need in order to understand what this vision means to you. Okay, so it's not just isolated to something physical. This is important. Okay, make sure you share this out. Let's see what you're saying. Someone said, love the stats. And Philip says, that is one of the many things that I love about you. Yes, you know I'm going to go deeper. It's time to get below the surface, people, of this human experience. And that's what I do. That's my gift. That's my strength. I have leaned into it. I receive it. I accept it. I curate it. I hone in on it. And to sharpen it, I'm always studying. What can I connect? What can I connect? And then it sharpens me more to what? Train on it. Teach you, right? So my mission is to empower 1 billion people about how their powerful mind works. So this is one way that I do it. I do it in other ways too, but I also do it using live streams. All right. So Julie says, because it deepens our awareness more and the images help us to see better internally. See, right? So awareness is very important as we are creating our vision board. So this is the powerful next piece of this. You're going to want to tune in. Don't do anything else. Don't look at anything else. Put your blinders on and tune in to my frequency. Tune in to what I'm saying. If you are sick of not reaching your goals, not reaching your success, but you love the idea of a vision board, but lately you've just been feeling like this is not doing anything for me, right? Year after year after year, and you lost the belief that vision boards are powerful. I'm here to reinstill your belief system, and your belief systems are key for your visions to be manifested. Okay, I know that part kind of sounded woo, but because I have a spiritual background, I like to anchor the science with the woo, if you will. All right, so there are two neural pathways that visual information go and is processed inside of your brain. Okay, so when visual information comes into your eyeballs, whether it be straight in, peripherally, unconsciously, subconsciously, it has to travel all the way back to the brain to be processed. Okay, that's kind of a long way, but thankfully we process images. Our brains are set up to process images super fast. All right, so the two pathways are the what pathway and the where pathway. Okay, so the what pathway is where we can instantly recognize what something is. So in order to do that, that has to be a conscious pathway, right? Because to recognize something means that you have to go into your frontal lobes, which that's where the information is sent, go into your emotional brain, go into your memory bank, and do some kind of comparison analysis. Is this something I've seen before? Do I have a memory of this? Do I have a connection to this? An emotional connection? And then the frontal lobes then analyze what you're seeing for significance, functionality, and meaning, as well as identity. And if you understand the brain, you know the prefrontal cortex, your frontal lobes, is the most modern, advanced part of the brain, right? That it's our executive functioning. It allows us to see the future, plan for the future, be the future, ward off distractions, focus, write that book, all that stuff for those higher order conscious decisions. But it also uses up a lot of energy fast. Okay, that's why most of what we see, most of the input, most of the stimuli that comes in to our bodies are subconsciously processed, because the prefrontal cortex, is brilliant at it as it is, it's not able to withstand, it doesn't have enough mental energy, glucose, to process millions and millions of bits of data every second. Okay, that makes sense, right? So the conscious pathway is connected to your existing neural networks, your existing knowledge, your memories, your emotions, and your brain wants to know, is this significant? Does this matter to me? What kind of associations do I have with what I'm seeing? Why do you think that's important? It's important because if you are not putting something that has significance on that vision board, the probability of it happening goes down. the probability of your brain trying to figure out how to make it happen go down. Let me tell you about the second pathway, because it's important to know the second pathway and why. If you don't have significance, if you don't put on that vision board something that's in truly alignment with you and your mission and your authentic self, that the likelihood of you accomplishing it is going to go down and you'll keep getting disappointed. So the second pathway, share this out. Are y'all ready for the second pathway? Put number 2, the second pathway. I know the suspense, huh? Thank you, Jared. The second pathway, y'all, is the where pathway. That means, what is the image that you're seeing as far as where it is in time and space? So this is the subconscious pathway. And it's important that it's a subconscious pathway, because can you consciously determine the angle of light bouncing off an object so that you can determine its orientation, its shadow, its shape, and all of that? No. So your brain has a whole separate pathway based on existing experiences of objects that can tell where your image is in time and space, what orientation, what's the different shadings, right? Things of that nature. And so this is a subconscious pathway. And the subconscious pathway guides our behavior. So when we're seeing something subconsciously, we intuitively will move a certain way. So if, let's say you're walking, right? And subconsciously you see a rock or something. And maybe subconsciously your foot just raises a little bit higher to avoid the rock so you don't trip over it. You see what I'm saying? So your visual system, responsible for taking in the myriad of information that we can't process consciously, will still subconsciously guide our behaviors. That's important. Why do you think that's important? When you are putting your visions on the vision board, your brain is going to subconsciously figure out a way to make them happen. Your brain is going to figure out a way to navigate your life to make it happen. Okay? But there's a but coming. Okay? So the Mosers, there are 2 neuroscientists, married couple. They won the Nobel Prize for finding the grid cells within our brain. So literally we have a GPS system in our brains. Okay. And the GPS system, what does it need? It needs input. It needs data, right? So that you can move in the right direction and get to your goal. And without that direction, you won't be able to get to your goal. Okay, you'll be directionless. You will either go nowhere or somewhere you did not intend. So a powerful way to direct your internal GPS system, okay, is to create a vision for it. Because remember earlier, I stated that we process images faster than verbal communication. Okay, 97% faster, 13 milliseconds. That's a thousandth of a second. That's how fast we process images. Okay, so if you're able to create a vision board, your brain gets the directions faster, which allows your GPS system to navigate where you are in time and space and also get you to the root. That means it's paying attention to the situations, the people, the ideas that you need in order to get to your vision. Because remember, the two pathways, your unconscious visual pathway guides your behavior subconsciously. Okay? So it's important to understand all of these things in context. Okay? You have your conscious pathway for visualization that will help you to recognize, make sense of what you're putting in your vision. Does it really matter to you? Is it aligned with your mission and your beliefs? Where do your beliefs basically live? In your subconscious mind. Right? So your GPS system is also going to look into your belief systems to guide your behavior. So even if you put something on that vision board, if you don't believe it, if you have some things in your belief system that you haven't dealt with, it's not going to guide your behavior to that vision, to that goal. And so that means you have to consciously find meaning, emotional meaning, significance for what you're doing. Making 6 figures or 7 figures just to be making it, just to see numbers in your bank account isn't significant. But doing it for a mission, doing it for a reason, doing it for something that's bigger than you, now that's significant. Okay? That has more emotional meaning. So that means you need to give your GPS system more powerful directions. And it has to do with your belief system, but it also has to do with your alignment. What are you in alignment with? How are you authentically showing up? Do you have a mission? What is your purpose? All of those things are going to guide your GPS system. And what the neuroscientists found about this GPS system is that the stronger the directions, the faster and more efficiently the animals can get to their goal. Because they did their research in rodents before, looking into human brains. Does that make sense? So let me break down the GPS system in the brain. And if you want to go beyond vision boards, because this is just the brain science of vision boards, people, I actually train on going beyond the vision board. It includes the vision board, but we go beyond it to take you to the next level of visualizing what you want to do so you can actually get there more powerfully. Okay? These grid cells, the GPS system in your brain consists of place cells and grid cells. Okay? These place cells, it sounds kind of like it sounds, right? They activate when you reach a certain place in your journey. Okay, like this is physically, but also in your long-term journey. They will emit a signal to say, hey, you reached your goal. They will activate when you are moving in a certain direction. So if you want your signal to be strong, if you want, most of those place cells to activate so that you're moving in the right direction, you need to make sure you're giving your GPS system the most powerful, significant, emotionally meaning directions, visions as possible. Does that make sense? Y'all, I'm like this all the time. The other set of cells in your visual unconscious GPS system are your grid cells. And they fire signals and coordinate the system. They coordinate where your surroundings to where you have been and where you are going. So literally your brain is finding the correct coordinates for you to get to your goal. It's kind of like people who are, driving a boat or sailing a boat. They need coordinates to get to their goal, their place of success, right? They need longitude and latitude. Okay, coordinates. Your brain has the ability to do that. But what the neuroscientists found were that the stronger the directions, the stronger the reward, the faster and more efficiently those cells activate to get them to their goal. Isn't that powerful? I told you you wouldn't hear it like this. Look, the rabbit hole goes deeper in everything that I talk about. But all right, share below what you glean from this brain science of vision boards. And if you are looking to go beyond vision boards, then let me know in the comments and I will respond to you. I'm actually having a workshop called Beyond Vision Boards, which includes vision boards, but we're going to go even deeper because I can always take you 10, 12 layers deeper. And you see how I balance the science with reality. I balance the science, the neuroscience, with something that's applicable, that's understandable. Because there's no reason to talk like all scientifically if it's not going to help you. So I feel like it's my gift and talent to be able to take the complex neuroscience about your own brain, your own neural technology, and be able to use it intentionally and powerfully to get to the next level of your human self, of your potential, your highest levels of your thinking and being. And I truly believe that's the next level of this human collective journey, is how we powerfully use our brains in a way that's going to move us towards humanity, responsibility, wisdom, and understanding. But if you don't know what you don't know, or people are talking way over your head because they just want to hear themselves cite a bunch of neuroscience studies, or give you 1,000 things to do this strategy, do that strategy. It's like you need context, you need the deeper why, you need time to process and put these ideas together so that it becomes a part of you. So I take what's familiar to you. You already have neural pathways for so many human activities, like planning, like goal setting, like creating vision boards. Why would I give you a whole new thing to do when I could just take you deeper into that aspect? Because it's still powerful. But I don't want you to give up on your human abilities. I don't want you to give up on your human activities. You just need a deeper why. You need a new perspective. That's what I do. I get neural perspectives. So you can start believing in yourself, believing in your abilities. You don't have to use extra mental energy to learn a whole new thing, because that's not how the adult brain works anyway. So that's a whole nother subject. I want you to capitalize off of your existing neural networks so you can show up powerfully without overwhelm in this life. And I train coaches, I train leaders, and I train people who just want to understand their brain better and optimize their brain power so they can optimize how they show up in the world. That's what I do. So in the comments, let me know, what do you want to do? Do you just want to be able to better navigate this human experience more powerfully, you want to learn to optimize your brain, I have something for you. If you want to be trained on how to talk like this and think like this and get certified, let me know in the comments and I have something for you. Okay? So, this was Coffee with a Neuroscientist. I know you have enjoyed this. I hope you had a lot of insights. Please share your insights. Please share this out. Susan says, I'm in for Beyond Vision Boards. Yes, okay, I'll put the link in there. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. You're going to learn some more brain stuff, but it's going to be relative. It's going to be relatable, right? It's going to be tangible. It's going to be insightful. I mean, you're going to light up in a way that will move you forward, inspire you forward. I don't motivate people. Motivating people is draining. Just the word motivate, if you take it to the term, the Latin root movere, it means to move. That means you have to take physical energy and move something, right? That means if you're motivating someone, you have to physically or mentally or psychologically get to where they are and try to convince them to move forward using a combination of words and energy. That's not sustainable. That's not how the brain works. You can only do that for so long. And motivation, we know, doesn't really last. But if you take the term inspirational, which is what I am, thank you. Inspiration comes from esperare in Latin, and it means to breathe in, breathe life into, rise. Okay? I want you to rise to your higher self with the understanding of your higher self. So if I engage you, if I engage your neurons, if I share some novelty about your brain is going to release the dopamine and the serotonin, and you're going to get excited, and new combinations of connections are going to be made in your head, and you're going to want to keep doing that, because once that dopamine gets released, that's the dopamine of, continuous learning, and your brain's going to want some more of that dopamine. And so you're going to start asking questions, right? You're going to start investing and learning more about your brain. You're going to start investing to understand and wanting to understand how else can I amplify my human experience, my mission, my goals. Okay? So I want people to rise to this knowledge. I don't want to press you to understand this knowledge. Everybody's not ready. I understand that. And that's okay. Everybody's on different parts of their journey. And then, when you're ready, you rise to the occasion, and you can keep rising, and I'll rise with you. Okay? Which is not how I started this journey. I thought everybody wanted to know about their brain. Everybody wants to know about their brain. Yeah, no. Kids really love to learn about their brain. That's why I love teaching, training educators. All right, everyone. You can follow me on every platform. I have this idea to go on TikTok and actually create my own vision board while explaining the neuroscience behind it. I think that'll be fun. I'm going to do that live. And I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, follow me there. And you can always go to my website, ShantaeTaylor.com or OptimineInstitute.com. Okay. I have a few Facebook groups. You just got to search them out, people. I have a few of them. All right. Remember. Oh, thank you. I'm all in to get my certification. Okay. Yeah. I can't see your name or face, but yes. Can't wait. Teaching is amazing. Thank you. I try to make the brain as amazing. It's amazing already. I'm just amplifying it. Remember my mission, people, to empower 1 billion minds. And I can't do it by myself. I can't do it in one, program. That's why I have multiple platforms to share this knowledge. Okay. And the more you share it, The more you amplify this message, we'll get to that 1 billion, we'll get to that 8 billion. All right. Remember, when you better your mind and better your brain, you can better your impact in the world and get to your success faster, efficiently, and that's in alignment with your true self. Take care, everyone.